I've spent a lot of my life failing and making mistakes, and I think a lot of that is to attribute to the fact that I did not listen to myself. I did not listen to my inner voice, my intuition. I've spent most of my life wanting to be accepted and understood by other people, and that was probably most prevalent with my YouTube channel. This past year, I've done and still working on a lot of growth and healing and learning to finally listen to myself and listen to this inner voice that is very quiet and hard to hear because I've spent so many years suppressing it. There's a lot that has happened in my life and a lot that could still happen. I think right now in my life, what I need is motivation. I don't really know what to do with my channel, and I feel bad for, crying or whatever, because I'm genuinely not trying to come off ingenuine or something like that. But I figured that in still trying to figure out what I want to do with my channel, and every other day lately just wanting to leave and never come back, or just wanting to private all my videos and start over. Whatever I end up doing with my channel next, I know that I want to be able to do something that matters to me. And right now, I guess that's just trying to offer some motivation that I need for myself. Hopefully someone else also might need. The thing that I wanted to say is I think it's hard to find the motivation to, move on when you feel so trapped in this darkness. The world right now is chaotic, obviously. But I think even in our lives right now, minus the world, even though, that has a big impact on you, I think a lot of us can admit that our lives are just very dark and confusing and lost. We're trying to figure out who we are again. We're trying to figure out what's the point of life? Why are we here? What are we meant to do? These identity crises that I see a lot of people having, it's hard to find the answers, and it's even more hard to keep going when you've already feel like you're suffering enough. I don't talk about my personal life a lot online anymore, but I've been through a lot, to say the least. I lost a lot of family this year. I was hurt by a lot of friends as well. The thing is, I like to believe that when you're so at rock bottom, and this is gonna sound hella cliche, but when you are so at rock bottom, there's literally logically only one direction left or one option left, and that's to keep going because things are going to get better. And to be honest with you, that angers me because it still feels like things are just getting worse. They're not getting better. But I like to believe that life has a way of balancing itself out. Just like we as people, either by choice or just by fate, we kind of can balance ourselves out as well. That we are not all anger or all happiness. We're not all hope or all depression. There's this paradox of sorts. And so I think that the only thing that I can really offer that I'm trying to hold on to myself because I want to, is that things are bound to get better. That you can move through the darkness, that you can discover the light. And it's hard. It's really hard to learn to breathe again. It's really hard to wake up the next day. It's really hard because it feels like it doesn't matter. It feels like you don't matter. It feels like your life doesn't matter. It feels like the future doesn't matter. But I think what's worse than cutting your life short or giving up is the possibility of things getting better and even being better than you imagined. It's difficult to be patient when you're suffering because pain is uncomfortable, pain is raw, and it's lonely, and you just want to feel better, really. I don't have the answers. This video is really just to tell myself and maybe someone else to keep going, because it just makes sense that if things are just so dark and so bad, it just has to get better. It just has to. Life cannot just be all darkness and all suffering without moments of light and moments of happiness. Otherwise, that's just not life. It's just finding the motivation to move through the darkness. That's probably the hardest part. It's one thing to get knocked down, and it's another thing to endure getting knocked down over and over and over again. You get knocked down once, you can get back up. You get knocked down over and over. It gets harder. And I think those are the moments, those are the chapters, the seasons, the weeks, months, years that you really have the opportunity to sit down and reflect and ask yourself, what is life for you? What is the meaning of life for you? What is worth fighting for? What is worth suffering for? What is worth enduring for? I think really that's the whole purpose behind pain, is to add value to things, to add value to the suffering as much as the relief. Just like death adds value to life, pain adds value to joy when you find it. And I guess maybe that's what hope is. To find that joy, to find the meaning in the pain, to find enough strength to keep going and trusting that it'll get better. That's really all I have. I don't even know if that's motivational, but it's just something I had to do, something I had to say. I don't know what I'm doing with my channel. I never did. If I post this video, it might be a reset for my channel. I think going forward, I want people who follow me on my channel to be interested in what I have to say. I think everyone I want to be themselves and to follow people, express themselves to people because of who they are. If you leave this channel, I won't be hurt because you know what's best for you. And that's all I ask anyone nowadays, really. I'm moving on in a way, and this is the start of that more publicly. All I can really offer is to try to stay sane. Yeah.